I bet.
Somehow I believe that.
Awesome.
You should, because
Yeah.
it's the truth.
We're playing Annabeth's favorite game today. Love it.
Special shout out to Annabeth,
Sims.
number one, well, arguably number 2 viewer. Jill
I
subscribed
hate
first.
this already.
So.
Put Theo.
FN Pod
Effing Potters. We need a cool name.
Podcasters.
Works for me.
Nice.
Pod Racers. No.
Oh.
I mean, we're started now.
Yeah, we're in it. So,
Alright, let's do it.
We're starting.
Started.
all right.
Come up with some energy this time, Dylan, or I'll do it.
Sorry, it was a Constantine amount of energy.
This is a your name energy. This is a ZZZ amount of energy.
Good soundtrack.
Welcome to
Oh God.
another high-pitched episode of Effin' Movie Podcast. We're here. We're talking about your name. Everybody get hyped. Yeah! Yeah! We're doing it. We're doing it. We're doing it. Doing it. This man is Mason. That's Bryce. That's Nathan. I'm Dylan. And we're doing your name, everybody.
You're so lucky you guys didn't get hit.
Oh, I got hit a couple times.
Sorry,
I
man.
dig it.
I've been working.
It's finally happening. The one is here.
This is our season finale of the fake movie season podcast. This has been technically a fake season, really. I'm like,
No, at
fall
this point,
season.
this is a pretty real season.
yeah, we're like 12 episodes in now. It's a
Yeah,
pretty real season.
this isn't just experimental anymore. This
We
is
really
leaned
this
into
is
the
this
curve.
season's format.
Yeah.
Anyway, so we're talking about Your Name. It's our favorite movie of all time. Well, that's
If you watched our
As
bracket,
you all are well aware.
if you watched our bracket, our opinions may have changed. Mine haven't, but they may.
Maybe.
nah.
We'll see.
I'd still give it a Spirited Away. But anyway, we didn't really know a good video game for this one, so we picked the most anime thing we could find. Nathan, what movie or what
movie?
game are we?
Let me clarify. We tried finding the most anime thing that Nathan has, but will not get us age restricted.
Good
And we
morning,
thought-
FN podcasters.
Yeah, so this is I Love You, Colonel Sanders, a dating sim where
Do
you
the-
are trying
do the-
to get Colonel Sanders to fall in love with you.
And take all of his money whenever he dies.
I'll say
Yeah.
you do the hard way. I'll do the peace sign.
Yeah.
That works.
Oh man, I'm sorry you guys had to see that.
Konnichiwa, bitches. We're in it.
Arigato.
Oh, she looks sad. Why is Miriam sad? Ever since we were a little
We
bit.
rescued her from a quicksand box.
Oh.
Anyway,
See,
so-
there could have been a potential romance here, like there is in Your Name,
e-
which we're going to summarize here shortly after Dylan gives out the delegation duties.
So, yeah. Anyway, this game is about romancing Colonel Sanders. That's all you need to know.
Yep.
It's anime as fuck. So, it's dating sim as fuck. It's Japan as fuck. I love it. Price, because of course it's got to be you. Tell us in 50 words or less
Oh, man.
what the plot to Your Name is without hitting all
50
the points.
seconds or less. We'll do that.
That's fair, because he'll milk every word
Yep.
for it.
I'm not even going to try to count them. You can
That's
try to...
50's a
That's
lot.
10.
Yeah, 50's a
already.
lot. Okay, so I'm starting. Let's see.
Body swap.
Body
There
swap,
you go.
I'm not counting. You can just go
two
ahead.
teenagers
In 2 different times.
in 2 different time periods. One is in Japan, one is in rural Japan. They stop swapping.
If you could sound like they're swingers.
They find each other,
26,
stop a comet from hitting the town,
34,
find each other again.
They
37,
don't stop a comet from hitting the town, do they?
44,
From hitting the
45.
people
They
in the
stop
town.
a catastrophe.
There you go.
Yeah, like
So, they stop people from dying, but the comet's gonna hit the
a
town.
Yeah.
And it's gonna look fucking beautiful the entire
Oh,
time.
yeah.
every ounce
Oh
of this
man,
movie.
when that comet hits the town and the sound, like the song's called Sparkle, which was my favorite song of the
Yeah,
first
it goes
season.
zen, right?
No,
That's
wrong
how-
one.
Oh,
But
yeah,
it
close.
cuts out all the sound, and this comet hits the town. It goes silent, and then you hear this loud boom, and it's one of the best explosions I've ever seen. But
and we would edit
Yeah.
it with like a big fart sound. That's how we would do it if we edited.
oh yeah,
Which is
we
why
would too.
Price doesn't edit movies. Anyway,
That's a JoJo character.
yeah, I was about to say, wait,
Yeah.
what's this
Very
some JoJo?
JoJo.
Can I just say I'm a big fan of every character on this screen right now. But anyway, let's talk about it, guys. We've been talking about it for
Yeah.
5 seasons now.
Well,
So
We should have a lot to say.
you know, upon rewatch, it's crazy how much like foreshadowing this movie actually gives you right away, and then they gives it to you even more like, I don't know, 30 minutes in. The grandmother comes in, basically tells you straight up what's gonna happen, and you're still at the very end. You don't really understand like how it's all gonna come together and how much of that foreshadowing is actually coming into fruition. But like, it blew me away how much crap that I missed. Like at the very beginning of this movie.
Yeah, I mean, I'm with you. Well, not so much that it was a miss.
Yeah,
for
you
me,
didn't
but
miss it, but like how much they gave you.
It's the rewatchability is what we're looking for here, Mason.
Yeah.
So on rewatch, this was one of the ones where it's like, I remember how it goes. The stars fly. They're sitting there. They're two different places. They're body swapping. They're having fun, and then Grandma Exposition comes in and dumps it all on it, but not in a way that we would disapprove of it. Like, yes, she gives us the concept. And even then, you're still trying to wrap your head around, like, just how it operates, which I think was good. Like, they gave you the simplest explanation of the concept of the body-swapping mechanics, but they didn't just dump and say, well, when you're here, they're here, this is going to do this. They're just like, yeah, your mom did that.
The end.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was
Look
like,
at this sweet fucking corgi. Oh, my God.
No, it said he walks in. It has a zoom in on Colonel Sanders.
Yeah.
Damn. But also, like, just the ribbon, the whole, like, the hairpiece thing, all that stuff happens. Like you said, the grandmother does come in, but it's almost like this kooky, crazy grandmother who's mad at her son for leaving the belief system that she had all along.
Their strange religious, spiritual system that requires them to swap bodies. To be fair, is he the villain in this? Like, does that sound...
I don't think he's anything. I think he's just the pawn in which, like, he's just forgotten about.
I'm gonna play the contrarian here because
that's right.
I do actually.
Told you we'd come back.
I do think this though. I was noticing this on my many times over rewatch. Is that I do.
Hold up.
Like.
You take a moment to clean yourself up. What did I miss?
Damn.
But anyway, this movie, I think it goes into too much detail on how the body swapping happens. I don't think that you need as much information as it gives you as to why they're swapping. I think you just need to know that they have this connection through this ribbon that has that is significant to their religion, and they somehow cross paths at one point. I think that's all you need. Whereas they go into this like you drink the sake that like they chew up and they spit out.
Sake.
It's a ritual. They go out to find it. I thought it was just too much when what you're wanting to know is what we all were wanting to know at the end of the movie is, are they going to end up together?
Well, that's literally
what
the
you
only
want.
thing
Right.
that you care about. And the
thing-
first watch, that's a big moment.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the thing that I think you completely, obviously, are going to lose on any subsequent watch.
Yeah.
Sure.
Well, I mean, that's the thing. It's
The
all
reveal.
about, do they stick the landing, right? Because they do. I mean, this movie gives you a lot of anxiety on the last 20 or 30 minutes because it's just fuck, dude, are they gonna like just?
Do they get hit by the meteor?
Right.
Do they end up in the same time period?
All right. Are
Do
they
end up
actually
in
the same
city?
age? Are they actually gonna say hi to each other as they pass by each other on the stairs? They notice each other. Yeah. For the last 30 minutes, I know we're jumping ahead, but whatever. This is us. So
It's like weeks of them being like barely missing each other.
right. It is just constantly being in each other's shadows and just like skirting across with it, and then
And the whole time you're shouting at the screen like, just God, just tell me.
yeah.
I can't take it anymore.
Yeah.
Well,
And literally, it absolutely ends and this movie, like, for ending-wise, this is the fittest ending you're gonna get ever out of any romance.
yes.
Like, 'cause it's just like, and they get together, literally the end. That's
Yes.
fucking
Well,
it.
it's not even
Credits
that they get
roll.
together.
Well,
It's
yeah, not even they just meet in their,
they
like,
the
actually
stairwell,
yeah.
meet each other.
Yeah.
Right.
Which that is now a tourist spot in Japan.
Good.
No exaggeration. That staircase where they modeled that after
Yeah.
is a tourist spot.
I'm gonna be the
It's
contrarian to the contrarian and say that I like the Saki part because, honest to God, none of this made any sense unless he returned to that spot where he saw
But
her
you
grandmother.
don't need all that. That's what
Nah.
I'm saying. Like,
But there was a ritual. Otherwise, this is just a crazy anime. Like, otherwise, this is just a crap. This comet's gonna hit. Maybe it's the comet. Maybe it's the magic from the comet.
Well, we have to remember that
you need
Mason's
to
not
explain all that.
No, so, alright,
Yeah,
I would
I'm a
argue...
simple-minded brain. Just keep in mind, I don't.
You
keep
don't
up
like
with this stuff.
Foxcatcher. I keep forgetting.
You didn't have to bring that
Oh,
up.
that'll have to be my retro review. Wait, do we? Oh, we
Oh,
reviewed that.
yeah,
We
already.
reviewed it
we
on camera.
definitely
Yeah.
have that on film.
We beat the fuck out of it
Yeah.
on camera.
So, anyway, No, I do think it's a necessary part though because it gives the what's his face? Yeah, I'm not gonna remember any of their names, and I still don't.
Take is the guy. Mitsuha is the girl.
Mitsuha, yeah. I hear it and I'm like yes, but then anyway.
Doesn't matter.
For Taki to have any control over this whole scheme of thing, because it's very her side, like it's based on her family side of religion, and she doesn't necessarily have full control over it, but she's kind of the driving force behind it. So for them to have this ritual and kind of puts the ball in his court to sit here and say, all right, you have some influence on it, which makes sense because otherwise it's Jim for the middle part of the movie. It's him wandering around, just getting clues and
aimlessly,
right? And it needs to have something that connects it back to them bringing back together.
And plus, just that whole scene is beautiful. That crater,
right?
Sort of
the
deal.
Crater and all of that. Which, God, thinking between that and Penguin Highway, it's all about big, deep craters, somewhere, isn't it?
I was thinking of
go to Japan,
the
go
big
find a crater.
Sphere, that big sphere at Penguin Highway, the big water source.
In the same way, though, it's like that big crater down, and you have that little like island and everything. But yeah, so we needed something to engage him to get back onto it. But, yeah, I mean, this movie is just one of these really great journeys on top of being, like, listen, because if it's just a romance, it probably wouldn't have caught our attention, because, I mean, we're four guys, we like action and blowing shit up, right?
Yeah. Based on our
romance.
Oh, yeah.
So we
want Dong in every movie.
Yeah.
We want Tom Hardy.
Tom Hardy, Hanks, and Dong. Hey, I've got a couple of movies for you.
Yeah.
Keanu Reeves won't do it.
We've reviewed a few.
Highly
praised.
By highly popular demand. Thunder Gun's next on the list.
Thunder Gun, I hear Hanks Dong.
Yeah, so anyway, but this is all of like the romance aside. I think it's I think it's funny. This movie is somewhere catered for just about every one of us specifically. No, I good for every one of us because if you want visuals out of it, then you're gonna hit Nathan with it. If you want it just to be an animated movie, you're gonna get Bryce out of it. If you're going to get Nathan or me and Mason with arguably like the teen drama aspects of it, again, like all of these
and
things,
the happy ending,
right? Happy ending aspect with that, and then just an interesting narrative. And again, like I mean, all of this has elements of things that we just truly enjoy out of a movie. So it was gonna really bring it home with us, and it's just we have the things, but we just need to execute them well. And although you're a contrarian, I'm thinking that it doesn't need to be that explained. I mean, literally this side of the couch disagrees, but agree to disagree anyway.
Yeah.
The movie, though, which I think we'll all agree on since we have rewatched it at this point, which I've rewatched it too much, is that it is fat. It is a little bit fat.
It drags on rewatches. I'll give you that.
Okay, I'm glad we're all in agreement there because I very much felt it during that middle chunk of the movie. The middle, like 45 minutes to 50 minutes is very elongated when I think it could have been condensed into like 25, 20.
So
it was way too long. The beginning and the ending of this movie are both.
Right.
Like when it starts, okay, the beginning part to where the connection gets severed between them, that's when I think the best part is cut off. And then you got the middle part that's really long. And then when you finally get to the comet fixing to hit the village and getting into the climax, all the rest of that is golden. It's just that middle part is very drawn out with
I
the
think
stuff.
it's a little bit chubby.
It's the stuff with like the coffee shop and his Miss whatever her name is, like will they won't they get together.
But also I think a lot of it is because at the very beginning it is completely halved from him and her, and then all of a sudden you just don't even see her, and it's at that point, like you said, the ties is severed. And you only see him. He goes on this little voyage with two of his friends that you don't even really care about. Mm-hmm. He's uncovering things. He's asking around. It's all this sort of sludgy stuff. But then I think it's like that big crater, right? That's when it turned over for me, where it was just like
when
they start to meet,
Yeah. So it's weird though, because if I'm thinking in the middle, I agree. It's the concept that these people he's interacting with in his day-to-day life, his friend, and then like the work wife or whatever, for lack of better words.
Miss something.
Yeah, like, and then they go on this kind of little journey together. And I remember thinking, like, on rewatch, I'm like, they don't even need to be here, really. This could have been him. That being said, though, remembering that he's a teenager and he's just adventuring around, it does feel more believable because it's like, oh, dude, if I'm gonna go chase after some like girl that I'm
taking my best home.
Yeah, I'm this crew's going on a trip.
He was gonna go by himself though.
Right,
He,
he was going.
wasn't even like we didn't even need those other people there. He didn't even want those people to be there.
No, the movie kind of.
It's like, oh, you're coming.
It was
whatever.
just a Samwise, like, of course you're going along.
Right, yeah.
I'm coming with you.
Yeah.
Let's not talk about Lord of the Rings. That movie sucks. I'm gonna put it out.
Whoa.
There. Yeah. Okay. It's not.
Oh no.
It doesn't
no,
suck,
you,
but it's.
You've got to be.
Talk about a
Yeah.
fat movie though.
No, but those. Yeah.
All three.
I live.
Jesus.
Anyway, we'll review that.
Especially one.
Oh my god.
One
No.
is
They
so
all run
fat.
together for me. I have no idea.
That's
One
fair.
is
That's
really
incredibly
Yeah,
fair.
they all run together because you watch them all in one
I
big
did.
chunk whenever you go to watch them.
I did,
Yeah,
and we
of
were
course.
silent by the end of it. We were
Yeah.
ready to not be around each other. Anyways.
Anyways, so yeah, there's elements in the middle that do kind of draggle, but the investigation and that stuff, I feel like the build. Yeah, I'm there with you. But it's weird, like rewatching. I remember thinking like specific scenes. It wasn't so much that like I would cut chunks out. It would just be shortening them. It's the Quentin Tarantino editing. I would say it's just that it's not that the scene is the problem. It's just that it drags. Like something about the scene is going on for too long. I'm like the scene's important. It needs to be there. And I remember thinking that on rewatch because I was like. This is where it kind of slugs and it does get a little slower and we don't see Mitsuha and it's like it's not as charming. And then it's like, okay, hey, are they swapping again? Fuck yeah,
Hell
let's go
yeah,
back.
we're back.
That is an action movie again. Vin Diesel's talking about family and everybody's having a great time.
Hell yeah.
Talking about Mitsuha though, this will not detract from my points I'm going to give this movie though. But man, I've rewatched this. I counted 7 times since we've talked about this. Literally 7. I watched it by myself the first time.
I believe him.
3 with girls, 2 with 2 other guys. And
Wow,
this a
Bryce.
rewatch. Now,
Shout out to
so,
Kelly. Hopefully that's you guys are married by this point.
I don't know. We may not be. We'll see if you hate me yet because I've watched this movie too many times.
But really though, Bryce, what are you doing?
This time though, the 7th was the only time I've watched this.
Propose through a video.
That'd be sweet.
I'll let them finish.
I think that'd be cool,
That'd
right?
be neat.
Hey, well, we were talking about if you actually just proposed, my made her watch a review, and then you propose on screen, and then she turns around and you got the ring. Love it. Anyway, because on
If
the
I
name,
incorporate this podcast into our proposal that
but it's
may have never
thematically
happened,
it makes sense for your name.
for
though.
your name, yeah, but it's not even her favorite movie. But anyway,
Who gives a shit
This
about
is-
her?
this
What
is
she
a-
likes.
this is the only time I've watched it in English, and holy crap.
I still
The
haven't watched
English
it in
voice
so-
acting on this
Not that
was
great.
abysmal.
Yeah.
It was awful.
Huh.
Mitsuha, I thought, like, she sounds weird. Like, there's something up with her voice or something. I looked up her voice actor. She's 44. And she's voicing a, like, 14-year-old girl. Whereas, you know, there's some VAs, like, Tanya something. She
Harvey.
voices... No, she voices like a lot of like babies and stuff in Rugrats. Like an older person can sound like a
Yeah.
younger person. This is an older person sounding like an older person voicing a younger person, and I don't understand why.
What's the boy's name again?
Taki?
Taki. Hey, Taki! I love you. Like, is that? I didn't
Also,
realize.
something to note about the English
Accurate.
version too. Like we all watched the subbed probably first, and maybe even second or whatever.
I refuse to watch
Nope.
English
The-
at this
the
point.
English-
I've only ever
Yeah, he's
seen
only
it in
ever-
English.
Yeah,
Okay,
true.
so
Oh.
something that I noticed
Huh.
about the
That's
English version
interesting.
too, they actually
Yeah.
say those like weird words that like we wouldn't. Like they kept saying boobies. Did they? Like you remember?
Oh,
that?
you're
Oh.
playing with your boob. Stop playing with your
Yes.
boobies.
They said the word boobies like 14 times.
like you
and I
don't. We
was
don't
like,
say boobies. We say like boobs.
boobs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, boobies.
But like,
So this
there's
movie-
a
Such a
lot of
weird
those
way to
like
say it.
cringy sort of
Boobies.
words that like. That's why I don't think it resonates in English as much. But
When you're just reading it, it's just like you say it however you would
Yeah,
say it in your
you-
head.
yeah,
you have it
here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyways, it's really
That's
not.
fair.
It wasn't like a awful time with English,
Boobies.
but
Yeah, I know. It's just a weird word
it was
to
weird.
say.
Yeah, it was weird
Which
out loud.
which the English version detracted from my favorite
Or-
line in the movie where Taki finally gets back into Mitsuha's body
And he's crying.
and crying,
Yeah.
and the little girl comes in, the little sister, and just doesn't say anything. I feel like the Japanese, they just do so much better. Like the voice acting's made for them. Like when she's always touching herself in the morning, and the little girl comes in and like she just says it's like it's breakfast time.
Yeah.
But in Japanese, it's like ba ba ba. It's something like that, and it
Yeah.
just comes off so much better than
Mhm.
like breakfast time. Like that.
You're
doesn't-
late for breakfast.
Yeah.
And then like, it just doesn't sound as right. Yeah. We can all
Definitely
agree that the soundtrack probably
Oh.
slaps more and more every time we hear
Oh,
it.
come
Is that
on.
correct?
I've watched this
Yeah.
7 times. I've
Yeah,
listened to the
it's
soundtrack a million.
I think it actually goes down for me.
Oh yeah, right.
Oh, you're crazy.
Zen Zen isn't the adrenaline shot. I mean, mainly because we started memeing it on this channel. So, like,
So you're
now,
telling me if we watch Brand New Story and
But
Kimi
the
God,
thing
that's
is,
not going to
though-
get you going?
It doesn't happen except for like what 15 minutes in, and then it's over. Zen Zen doesn't even come back except for maybe at the credits.
No, I know, but now when I hear Zen Zen, I hear ironic us.
Right.
Zen Zen Zen!
Like
Wanna
every
get on
time
Rock
I
Band?
hear it,
Yeah.
I'm just like, I just picture myself having to sing it in Rock Band.
Right.
Which we just made him do.
Kishiwa dakare banana shoro pizza yeah. Yeah,
At
exactly.
some point, they say the English word story.
Right.
Mm.
And I think that's like the only English
Story.
word.
They don't have that in
Yeah.
Japan.
But
No.
I mean, all the rest of the soundtrack's awesome. The opening song, like
Oh,
the
that was
opening
Japan.
music video, is so good. In English, I know it's called Dream Lantern. Zen Zen always is a banger, and then Sparkle still is
Sparkle's still
easily my
good.
Sparkle's
favorite.
good, though.
That last
Yeah.
song is incredible,
Yeah.
and the last song that ends the movie where they finally meet each other,
Ooh,
and like
oh,
it
yeah.
pans to the title, like that song. I forgot what that song's called, but I have that one too, and it's really good as well. But the soundtrack will never get old
It's
for this
called
for me.
Riot. It's by 3 Days Grace.
3 Days Grace, yes.
Really?
Yeah, I remember that one.
I didn't hear the guitar riff though.
You won't sometimes.
It's an acoustic, this one.
Oh, it's an acoustic version of Riot.
Yeah.
Let's start a riot.
Let's start a riot.
Your name. It's beautiful.
Yeah. Anyway, that's our review. Let's get into the question.
Ooh, I've actually got one.
Go for it.
Are we really done talking about it already?
Yeah.
Well, we can keep talking, but yeah, go ahead and ask your question.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Fine.
We got reviews.
Mhm.
Okay. So my question is more of an encompassing kind of question. All right. So we ready?
Yeah, we're listening.
Hey,
It
don't
doesn't
get
seem like
distracted.
it.
Said
I
sprinkles
know
or
he's a
something.
very distracting man, but don't let him distract
I
you.
can't look at him.
Dude, look at his. What is this muscle called?
That's
Your forearm.
forearms. Yeah.
That's not the muscle though.
No, the muscle.
Oh, I believe in science it's called your jack-off muscle.
God.
Nathan, can you edit that out? Right
Look,
there.
anyway, just look at it. It's like a friggin' bolt. I think
Yo,
it's a
can I
tumor.
just say how fucking good those mashed potatoes and gravy?
Oh yeah.
And we know this is KFC mashed potatoes and gravy, so that is fucking good.
And being
Pretty
that this is
accurate.
anime,
It looks
Still
even
looking
better.
it's got
better.
incredibly good looking food.
Right. Anime will
Okay.
make you so hungry.
My turn. Question.
Answer.
Potatoes.
So since watching Your Name, I think we watched Spirited Away before this.
No.
Did we?
No,
We-
we
Or was this
No,
the
we
very
watched
first anime?
Your Name was.
No. We watched Spirited Away first.
I
because
think we
that
did
was
watch
in the-
Spirited Away.
Did we not review Spirited Away?
But
We,
I
didn't,
think-
we haven't recorded Spirited Away.
I guess not.
No.
No, yes.
Oh.
yes that
I
was
think,
before
but I
that.
think Your Name, especially for me, who as the one who's picked most of the anime movies, like has really took it from there and tried finding all the other anime movies I could find. So since we've watched Your Name, we've watched a lot of different anime movies since then. Has watching those other movies changed your mind in any way about this one? That it's like better, it's worse, it's like the same but different. Like
I'm gonna go first and just get
This
mine
one's
out of the
different.
way because
Yeah.
you guys might have a lot more to say.
That's fair.
This movie is visually stunning. Whereas I don't care if an anime like Spirited Away comes from 2001 or 2015 or 1989. This movie is bar none. It's just the best looking anime thing I've ever seen in my life.
Mhm.
And Weathering with You was also very nice to look at.
Yeah.
And it just came out. in the
Even if
past.
the story was.
The story was a little
Gun.
wonky.
we need a gun.
Well, the story was a little
Yeah, why
wonky.
was there-
What was your
Why
name
was there
missing?
no gun?
What was your name
That's
missing?
the real
Oh,
question
fucking
you should have
God.
asked.
Yeah.
Like, how much better would this movie have been if there was a gun?
Yeah,
I pointed a
totally.
fake gun at Nathan and said gun, and he
Yeah.
just looked at me like.
Taika, or whatever the hell his name is, could have just shot the comment, and that would have been it.
Honestly.
Yeah.
All I want to do.
I mean, they should have just like Bruce Willis did and
Mhm.
Armageddon it up.
Yeah.
And broke the comet up before it hit the planet.
Right, scatters
Now,
it.
Sorry, Mason. We
No, you're
Totally
good.
went
I think
off.
that like when it comes to animes though, there's so many different sort of styles and,
Right.
and approaches.
Mhm.
Like
This
you
is
have
a modern-
like the Cat Returns style, where to me it looks like an after school special sort of animated.
it does.
Now compare it to Paprika.
Paprika was kind of cool. It was just the same thing. over and over.
Stuff.
The same parade.
Yeah. I mean, nothing. I don't think will ever touch this for me. Is just as far as the visuals. The soundtrack was also really good too.
I'm gonna challenge that for you because
Go for
I know it's gonna be one of these things that, again, you're more interested. And yes, this movie is gorgeous. I'm not taking anything away from like the art styles of this or Spirited Away or anything of that. Again, Spirited Away is gorgeous and the thing. It is.
Mhm.
I think it's more styles versus what. Again, this is a very modern CG
Yes.
style.
Oh, 100%.
One,
yeah.
which-
Computer. It's computer.
Right, this one is CG'd all the way
Yeah.
through, so it makes sense that you find it more visual because the colors pop better,
Yeah.
everything looks sharper and that.
Promare. Colors really pop there.
Gross, man.
The colors
Why?
bleed and
You know,
fresh. And,
you ask the question, and then
then
you
you
bring
shit
up
on
all
it.
these reminders of how
Just-
it's so wrong to have asked
See ya.
that question.
But I will say, too, in their defense, Princess Mononoke is how old? 90s, right?
2000s.
Yeah.
No way.
I think it's early 2000s.
Early 2000s.
Well, like that one
think.
sticks with me too. Like that one I really liked.
That one's beautiful.
But that
too.
one's pretty nice visually.
And again, it's more modern, so
It is
what the tech they were
modern-ish,
doing with
yeah.
it is
But yeah,
different.
that's. You can continue on if you want.
Yeah. As a comparison or anything like that, nothing really particularly changes for me because I go on the thesis of this, right? So Your Name and Weathering with You and the director's name I'll never remember because I just forget.
For who?
Your Name and Weathering.
Makoto Shinkai.
There we go. So Makoto's style.
You should remember that name.
I know. It's remembering that's who it's attached to. I always just keep thinking director.
Persona.
Yeah.
Your best girl.
Listen, she's the best.
She's
Anyway.
not Anne.
So.
Colonel Sanders dating app.
Yes. What is that? Oh,
Simulator.
hold on. Pause. What
What
the fuck is
happened
that?
here?
Mashed potatoes.
That's
It's
a sport
it's a
mashed potato monster.
I'm pretty sure we're about to fight it.
Is Colonel Sanders about to one-shot this thing?
I
Is
hope
it
he
just
does.
gonna?
He just looks at it. He takes his glasses off and just looks at it.
Right.
Before you
It
can
falls
discuss
apart.
syntax any further.
It's a turn-based fight sequence. That's amazing. Okay, so to the point. Makoto's style. I love it. It's the FF7 box and everything
Yeah.
too. So Makoto's style is just a spiritual sequel of Miyazaki's work. Like that's always been my theory with it. Like again, this is he claims as much. I mean, he says that he's heavily inspired with that and this type of storytelling and things that are. It is got a heavy base of inspiration on it. Does that mean that it's better or worse, or it's the evolution of, or this is the next step? No, it's just
One option. Sorry, go ahead.
it's just differing art styles for me. But thematically, this director's taking his own direction with it instead of being more into the adventure, which this one does have a giant adventure aspect in the middle of it. It's more about the grounded human elements and stuff about it. So all that being said, I don't find this movie necessarily being better or worse or context with it. It just says that it's, to its credit, of a Miyazaki level scale. If you're liking these Spirited Aways and Howl's Moving Castles and now any of Miyazaki's work for that matter, then you should start appreciating this on this level because this is a director that's coming up enough and putting out enough stuff that it's like this guy's going to be like the next big name in animation for Japan.
Oh, he is already.
Right, and he
Definitely.
effectively pretty much already is. But again, when you look at how many Miyazaki films people could list off in a heartbeat, and then we could say roughly 2. We're not really going to count 3 millimeters or whatever that movie is.
Yeah.
6 inches. It's something
What?
there's a weird movie name with that. It's like something. Listen, we'll look it up later. But
I don't know off the top of my head.
anyway, so yeah, I mean, I don't necessarily appreciate it anymore, but that's because I already came in with a pretty high, thinking of it, like how I approached it.
Yeah.
You managed to tamp down your disgusting, sight gnarly beast. Long enough to
That
realize she's a
chicken
living
cane.
creature with a pure soul who deserves your pity, not your wrath. Aww.
Um,
Isn't that character in Toy Story
okay,
5?
so this are we still doing the question?
Yeah.
Okay. That just
You've
wanted
got
to
I
make
don't
sure.
blame you for going.
I'm sorry. I got distracted by a battle sequence with the spork monster.
Mashed potato fighter.
Okay, so for me, this movie set the bar, set it really high, and nothing has ever quite reached what this is as anime goes. Whenever it was first picked, I've generally had an opinion of not being a big fan of anime.
He did laundry in all those movies.
Yeah. But it showed me that there could be good anime, and I still believe that that's the case.
Hopeful.
I'm just still waiting for it, Nathan. 2024.
Y'all like the 90s short pretty well.
Yeah,
That's
like
pretty
there
okay.
there are some that are good. Every one of them have their own little flaws, and this one has its own weirdness too, like the whole boob thing. And
Desensitized after years of watching.
Oh,
this.
like
yeah.
you get over that.
Yeah.
But like on a first watch or like showing it to somebody else, like that can come off as kind of weird.
Mhm.
But it's a minor quibble, and overall, I mean, I don't really think that there's been an anime that's been quite as flawless as this one is.
What about compared to Mononoke? Because I remember you were really hot on that one when we watched. I think that's the anime I remember you being the most hype on.
Yeah,
Besides
I
this
mean,
one.
it was really good, but and I mean you can't say too that it was visually really good as well, but Your Name is just better looking. It's the best looking.
16 years later, yeah.
See, I would personally disagree, but I can understand.
I'm with you on that one as well, and that's like I said, it's modernized
It's
style.
taste. Yeah, it's just styles.
I mean,
Yeah.
right, again, like, I could look at any of the art around here and say, oh, I like this one more than that one, and Nathan would say, I like this more than that. And again, it's the CG sharp linings and stuff like that. And to be fair, the colors, I'll give them credit. Like, if I could see the colors pop with the CG, like, if they ever went back and, like, modernized and revamped, not necessarily the full art style of, like, even, like, Spirited Away, but just went back and, like, up the colors and just being able to get those modernized or whatever, I think that makes it just, like, such a popping movie.
Ghibli would never allow
Which they would
anybody
never
to
let
touch
you do
anything
because you
like
don't
that.
fucking touch Ghibli movies. But,
Yeah, there's no way they would allow that.
But I'm saying for, like, you know, again, to, like, Mason and Nathan's point, who are not heavy anime goers, again, the modern look's going to look more appealing because it just, I guess that just clicks with them, but, I mean, there's a lot, I think there's also the appreciation of seeing the handwritten and, like, style with that stuff as well. But, anyway, enough about that. Scores?
You're not gonna let me answer my own question?
Oh, sorry, we went to Nathan. I totally forgot you didn't even say anything about it. Yeah, go ahead.
I mean, I would just like to say just a little bit that Your Name, like, I'm the same way as Nathan. Spirited Away I really liked, but I didn't appreciate at the time as much as I think I should have. Like, I liked it, but not as much as I should have. Your Name, again, was that jumping in point, as I said, for Nathan, where I was like, I watch anime TV shows, but movies are a whole nother beast, and I've never watched anything. And after this movie, I loved it so much. I was like, I want to reach that high again. I want to see something. I want to see something else in anime that I really like. Because I always liked animated movies, like Pixar and DreamWorks, but I've never delved into much Ghibli or Shinkai or Trigger or anything
Mugen
like
Train.
that. Yes, and then we
Yes.
saw Mugen Train, which was good. But
Animation was good.
so I didn't dislike or like this movie anymore after watching all those. It more got put into perspective for me because now that I've watched so many other anime movies, which is my, like, if I'm not watching a movie that we're having to watch for this, I'm watching an anime movie. Like, I'm trying to find something new, find something I like more. I'm looking for that next hit.
Give me another.
And I mean, I found other anime movies I definitely have liked more than this. Just for me personally. Like, especially The Night is Short is still probably one of my favorites. I adore that movie. But it has a very different style, very different story. Way creepier, I think, in the Japanese aspect that Nathan was saying about this guy who, like,
Yeah.
sees
Much
this
more
girl.
And you see that's kind of where I was saying, like,
Oh,
those
stalking
kind of
seems
weird
cute.
tropes
Yeah.
I find kind of
To be
problematic.
fair, I wouldn't even quote that to be a Japanese trope though, because there's enough American romance that's like the dudes being a stalker or kind of creepy and shit like that, and
it works out for them.
it works out great. But the only difference
I
is it's
mean,
not animated. Like
the animated perspective on that is like just the character cringing at their own selves
Right.
and like that extreme self-deprecation kind of stuff
Mhm.
is where I
because they
Just-
kind of
I
realize
just like
it's wrong,
you.
but they keep doing it anyway.
it's like
where,
you know you shouldn't be doing this.
But when Ryan Gosling does it, everybody's like, "Fuck yeah, stalk me, daddy!" Like, right? That's the difference. On it.
Yeah.
Stupid cartoons stalking these people, fucking weirdos. Who drew this?
But I'll always appreciate Your Name for introducing me into anime movies and going more into it. So I always like this movie. That's why I've rewatched it so many times. It's just I've seen other anime movies that I like better, even though this one is still very, very good.
Mm-hmm.
Which I think the production on this movie is why I like it so much, not so much as like the other aspects of the movie.
Yeah.
Because the story, even though it is a very cool concept, the body swapping romance, which is very unique, it just kind of flubs it, in my opinion, on the story front. Okay.
Scores, Nathan. Start with you, Bo.
Okay.
Should you guys know what you or do you guys just want to try
No.
to?
You know,
Just go with
I
it.
don't know what I originally did.
I don't know
but
either.
I'm gonna hit it with a 9.
Yeah.
I think
Nice.
it deserves it.
Yeah.
You know, it's visually good. It's got a story that compels you. Somewhat less on rewatches, but it's still, you know, that the first time was so good that
Yes, it was.
I'm not going to
Fault it for
for any subsequent watches
Mm-hmm.
because you remember the first time.
Yeah.
and that's good enough.
You always remember your first, Nathan, 2021.
I think it's kind of like that with The Quiet Place too. Whenever
Yeah.
we were talking about it just a
Yeah.
couple
It's the
weeks
same
ago,
argument we were making for that.
Where,
It's
like,
just, yeah.
you kind of just remember it being really, really good, and even though the reveal is already there and everything happens that you know of, can't really hurt it.
Well, for me, the rewatch is super, super important. And I've rewatched this a lot. It does have some rewatchability, but that definitely factors into my score, which is why I'm not going as high as I thought I would on this movie, because it just gets longer and longer every time you see it, because you're just wanting to watch, or me, I'm wanting to watch the beginning third and the last third. Those are the only parts I really want to see. The middle part just really, really drags for me. The soundtrack, I cannot praise enough. The visuals are striking. They're so beautiful. And it is a really neat concept that they went for. And it's still a really fun movie. It really introduced me into the world of anime movies. So I can't thank it enough for that. But I'm still going to go at a solid 8 because it's, again, the rewatchability for me isn't really there. Like, I don't want to watch this for a long time.
You've watched it
after
7
this.
times. It's not our fault.
No, it's not. It's not. But if it's a movie that I put higher than that, like 8.5, 9, 9.5, it should be something that I can rewatch over and over and over and still enjoy it.
I would say there's an argument that if you've watched it 7 times that you've enjoyed it enough that it probably deserves at least an 8.5.
Yeah.
But that's me.
I'm still gonna stick it at an 8.
Wow.
Feels well tempered in my opinion.
Price has somehow found a way to become the contrarian to Your Name, the movie that he
Yeah,
picks.
the one that he screams about.
I didn't
Yeah.
pick it.
No.
No,
Oh,
that
no,
was,
Mason picked it. That's
Mason
right. That's
picked it.
right.
yeah, that was
Sorry.
100% Mason.
I-
Yeah, Mason picked it the first time.
The first
and
time.
This time.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah.
I mean, this movie's a 9. Like, yeah, and that's a big deal. I mean, anything that crosses the 8.5 threshold has to have a lot of show me something unique and interesting and stuff like that. And for the story elements alone, being able to, again, pull off a body-swapping, dating, romance, teen drama, and do it well, I think, again, says a lot to its favor. I've never watched it in English, and I probably won't, because Estelle, some 50-year-old woman, voices Mitsuho, apparently. I don't know. But yeah, I mean, I don't really got too many negative things to say. Rewatch, yeah, the middle is longer than what you really want out of it, and then you're starting to feel it's the time that you feel the length of the movie. But then you're just like, God, just go blow up the power plants already. Go do this. Go do
Dynamite.
Go do the emergency thing. Go do terrorism, children.
Which
Like,
I'm very surprised they jumped on board with her plan as fast as they did. Like
Yeah.
when she talks to her friends, and then she's like, "There's this comet man, and it's gonna hit the city."
Nah, dude,
Here
that's
in a
what
few
friends
minutes,
are
How
man.
much convincing would it take any one of us to do to the
To
others?
blow up like a utility system.
Say no more.
Yours, like for you, that would take nothing, but
Literally.
for me, it would take a lot.
Oh, we're the morally,
wow. Morally gray
imbalanced.
because we want to
Yeah.
save the world or save a town, and all we have to do is
500 people, Price.
one little power plant, little corporate money.
Yeah,
has
I mean,
it,
they
whatever.
can fix
If
that.
Yeah.
anything, Nathan's 100. He's gonna provide the dynamite.
Yeah, Nathan's been planning it
That's
for.
That's what I said. Nathan is going to do it in a heartbeat.
To be fair, Nathan's been planning it for years, and he
He's
just
gonna
has
be
the
for
excuse to
Vendetta
do it
that
now.
Ever since for V for Vendetta,
Yeah.
he's just like, I have the urge.
This movie's a 9. Yeah, like I said, great
That was a
movie.
10 from Nathan.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
It deserves it. V for Vendetta is a really good fucking
It is a
movie.
good movie.
Price, you asked earlier as far as like other animes and stuff like that. I have the weirdest.
You've been stuck on this movie ever since we watched it.
Oh, it's-
Everything is compared to Your Name.
Well, yeah, because like when it comes to animes,
Yeah.
especially, I think sometimes they approach it way too much and they have way too much going on. Like Spirited Away, for instance. For me, my tiny brain had so much crap going on. This girl was stuck in a realm that she couldn't get out of. She was trapped, but humanity and all this stuff and blah 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 blah.
You just gave the plot. And that was it.
But there was a lot of things. Watching the entire movie, there's so many things going on. And I remember that from our talking.
Mhm.
But then you have movies like The Cat Returns. It's super simple. Not enough to chew on. Kiki's Delivery Service was pretty okay, but it was super simple. Not enough to chew on. And then a movie like this, I feel like, is really well balanced. You guys keep mentioning that middle part. I actually really like it because that was sort of him figuring everything out as if, the grandma wasn't enough at the beginning, and the ribbon, and all of those, like, oh, wow, your hair was crazy yesterday, blah, 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 blah. Like, he was finally figuring out. I don't think it really drug too much in the middle, but this movie's a 9. I think it had everything that it needed to. didn't sit on too many parts for too long, and I don't know what I would really trim up. I mean, it's a little bit chubby.
I would add more boob grabbing.
I think they had plenty of that.
And whenever it came back crying, I was just like, me too, buddy.
Same.
Yeah.
Same here.
Yeah, there's probably not many films that would make you be like, I can sympathize with what this character's doing
Right.
right now as they're just grabbing
Just
the boobs.
groping.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you think he ever told her about that?
She knew.
I mean, yeah, I know, but like later, do you think they talked about it off screen?
Yeah.
Like,
The little sister
You know
mentioned
what?
it to her.
I know, but
I'm
like,
glad you're not
but
touching yourself.
You never
this
see
morning.
both of them talking about.
You know what though? What
Wow.
this movie also has as a redeeming quality for the long term game, in Weathering with You, what's it? Taki and Mitsuha?
Oh yeah, it's the same verse now.
Yes,
Yeah, so
they're in the same universe
Yeah.
and
Oh,
they
don't
are
spoil it.
together.
spoiler.
Oh.
We've already done Weathering
done
with
it.
You.
We've already done it.
Yeah,
I
quite a
guess.
We've
while
already
back.
said this in an earlier review.
And
months,
it's for that
years
reason.
ago, maybe.
Look at that. That's perfect.
Yeah.
Did they get together? We don't know until Weathering with You comes out
I don't
4
know.
years later,
Uh-huh.
and they're married.
Yeah.
Let's give the wheel a spin.
Yeah, get that wheel. Get that fucking wheel over here.
All right, put it on over.
Nathan, you gotta spin it. It's gotta be from West River.
So
All
it's
right.
got to go this way?
Go for it.
Alright.
What a spin.
That's a heck of a spin.
That's a big old spin of
Oh!
What is it?
Do you having a picnic cage?
You have to pick a Nick
What?
Cage movie, buddy. Welcome!
Oh, yeah.
So what
I
is it?
have no earthly idea. My instinct is to say Spider-Verse, but
Okay.
Yeah, that's
I-
probably not a bad
I
pick.
feel like if it's gonna be Nick Cage, it needs to be
It should be a
Nick Cage.
Yeah.
At the forefront.
Now,
not
is
just-
it new, I'll do anything for money Nick Cage, or are we going for a
You could
classic?
do Kick-Ass.
I don't know off the top of my head.
You could do
Ooh.
Kick-Ass. You could
Yeah.
do Con Air.
Con
Air's not a bad
Con
one.
You could do
Air.
Raising
Face Off.
Arizona.
Raising
Face Off.
Arizona.
I've
Face
never
Off,
I've never seen those two
Gone in
movies.
60 Seconds.
I'm gonna look it up because those
Yeah, go.
Raising
We better do it
Arizona
right
and
now.
Face Off seem the most interesting
Face
because
Off
I
you
haven't
should-
seen those.
Listen,
It's
again.
got John Travolta, right?
Yeah, they
Yep.
swap faces.
It's a very sci-fi
And they try to
late
kill each other.
1990s movie.
Dude, it's actually kind of sweet. Like, I'm not gonna lie.
Man, that's what I'm leaning towards, but I want to look up his other
But the
stuff
fans
just
seem
to make
no,
sure.
The fans seem to just,
We've done this before.
just the fans.
Nope, I'm not doing a panic pick.
Jill!
Okay.
Alright.
Make Price
Well-
panic pick.
I guess maybe we'll watch Face Off, but you'll have to wait and see.
What
Yeah.
did you say?
I said make Price do a panic pick. He won't pick a Nick Cage movie.
Are you saying panty or panic?
Both.
Yes.
All of it.
Guys, we're still recording. Let's at least close off first.
So anyway, make sure to subscribe to the channel. That's Jill and Annabeth right off screen. You guys already know where to hit the button and all that bell. Don't forget the bell. And then hit the comments below. Tell us what you think about our long-awaited, somehow finally just now recorded review of Your Name. Make sure to tune in next week for...
Whatever.